what's up? Welcome back to Pigskin Pick'em. It is
Boom roasted. It's Bama. So
Georgia Tech, outdated offense. They came in strong, but it had to happen eventually.
Well, your mistake was just making picks at all. You just should have just showed up.
Welcome back to another week of Pigskin Pick'em. Week 3. We got a new guy. We got Paul.
What's up?
He's pretty knowledgeable. Looking forward to having him on here, adding a little bit of the competitiveness and hopefully giving you guys some better picks. But like always, welcome back to Pigskin Pick'em, presented by Dub's Secret Sauce right there. Really like this location. I think we finally found the right section of the couch.
You know what I like? I like that sauce.
That sauce is really damn good. It's pretty damn good.
It's a really good sauce.
you've been using the hell out of it.
Yeah,
it gets lower and lower.
It's every week we do this.
We're gonna need a new bottle.
I use it a little bit more and more every week, but would also like to thank all the new followers, subscribers we got. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, show it to a friend, throw it up on your social for us, get the word out, especially since I don't know about you, I went 3-1. You went 3-1 last week.
Yeah.
You had a couple closer games. You're getting the hang of it. It takes you a little while to warm up. Don't too worry about it. I mean, you and I both got lucky with A&M with a backdoor cover, but that's what you look for in those big games.
Thank you, A&M.
Yeah, when you see those big spreads, you're really hoping for a backdoor cover, and we got it with a late garbage time touchdown. But the game of the week has been the game of the week 2 weeks in a row, and we struggled with this last year with our games of the week just not being any damn good.
Yeah.
And so far, Auburn, Oregon, week 1, great game. And then Texas, LSU
Fantastic.
was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Great.
3 wide receivers for LSU with over 100 yards receiving.
We're doing good.
Burrow over 400 yards passing.
He was balling.
Same with Ellinger, 400 yards passing, I
His
believe.
draft picks just keep going up.
I mean, is Texas back?
Is LSU back?
Yeah,
hold up. Is LSU back?
DBU.
Yeah,
DBU.
they're definitely not DBU. And as the guy said, when you give up almost 500 yards a game, I don't think you can be DBU. But Texas, I think, played a really resilient game against a very good LSU defense. And I'm looking forward to how LSU plays in the conference.
They did not get 8 up. So good for Texas.
And that was one thing we were talking about. I really thought it would come to the fourth quarter and just the defensive line rather for LSU would just wear down Texas.
Yeah.
But they stayed in the game. They kept it close the whole time and made for a really entertaining game. I hope you
They went punch for punch pretty much the whole game.
Oh no, it hit.
But yeah, interesting week 2 of football. A kind of more boring week 3. Not a lot of good games. There is one highlight, and we'll get to that when we get to the game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But we all got picks, 3 each, just like every single week. But now instead of 9 picks, well, I guess 10. You're now going to get 13 picks this week. And I mean, if y'all are paying attention and calling your bookies early in the morning, then depending on who you go with, you're doing pretty well.
Unless you picked me.
Well, neither here nor there. Before we get into our picks, we'll shoot it over to William with week 2, Tour of the Horn.
Week 2, Tour of the Horn. First of all, got a big shout out to boy Kevin Harvick winning the Brickyard 400. Other people don't know that's the Indianapolis, so it's kind of a big deal for NASCAR racing there. But back to the beer review. This week, got Ruthless, Sierra Nevada. ABV is 6.6, IBU is 58, so more of a higher class beer on this one. Rye IPA, I don't know if I've ever had a rye IPA. We'll see how it tastes though, but appreciate everybody watching our videos. I like enjoying drinking beer, so this makes it fun for me to have a reason to drink different types of beer all the time. So what he has to say here, like I said, Sierra Nevada, Ruthless, Rye IPA. Has a real sweet, citrusy smell. Let me see. It almost has like a spicy smell too. So it's kind of got a twist to it. Does smell good though. Not too bad, really. Like I said, it's got a strong citrus flavor, but it also has like a spicy flavor almost. Almost like a light Bloody Mary mix. Not saying it does like a Bloody Mary, but it has that almost that kind of feel to it that you got the sweetness and the spiciness of a Bloody Mary. Does have the bite of a bitter. It is an IPA, so I do enjoy that about it. I think on this one, Sierra Nevada, Ruthless Rye IPA. Thinking goes 6.9. I would say pretty good, above average. I would definitely come back to do this one. I think it's a kind of a one drink kind of thing though, with it being 6%. I don't know if I'd want to have too many of these and try to drive home because I never want to try to test that luck with that one. But yeah, like I said, I do enjoy my local beers, and this is another one of the local beers in my area. So, yep, like I said, Sierra Nevada, the Rye IPA, 6.9.
Beer is good. Will likes beer. What's new?
Hell yeah.
Well, I was Tour the Horn again. Apparently did really well. People liked it. Make sure you guys continue watching through it, and hope you guys enjoy the beer reviews every week. Might incorporate Will a little bit more. We don't know. But I'll let the new guy start it off first if you're ready. If you're ready.
I don't know if I can handle that pressure.
You can't handle the pressure?
You're up, rookie.
I wasn't built for this.
You weren't built. I don't know. You going first, Bennett?
I can go first. Yeah.
I can go first.
I'll start it off.
All right, let's hear it, Bennett.
Here, Bennett.
So, boys, starting this week off, I'm in desperate need of some points, so I'm going a little ballsy this week.
Same.
Well, actually, my first game is not ballsy at all. It's Georgia versus a high school practice squad. They're playing Arkansas State at noon. Zach, why are you putting your head down? This
What?
is guaranteed point for
I
me.
saw something on the ground.
Guaranteed. 33 and a half, damn it. We're going to hit the cover, baby.
33.5 points. Georgia's covering this
It's a
game.
great pick. That's a great
What's
pick.
my line, Bennett? Good teams win. Great teams cover.
Yeah, and
We're
Georgia's a great team, and Georgia is going to cover because they are not playing a very good team. But you'll have that. I mean, not everybody's a top 5 school. It's fine.
It's
Next
fine.
game, I have NC State, West Virginia.
I think we'll be hearing from that game a couple of different times today.
Yeah, I'm
good pick.
going with NC State on this one. They're favored by 6.5. I don't think West Virginia is very good this year.
Yeah,
Um,
right there with you.
that's another noon game. That's my second noon game in a row. Georgia's playing at noon. I guess I got a thing for noon games.
You can get your picks done early. You
Yeah.
can just get it, lay them in, and just go right to bed at 3:30.
Exactly. Or 10:30.
Yeah.
Dark.
And then the next game, this is where I went a little ballsy. I have Kentucky and Florida. Florida is favored by 8 in this game. I'm going to go out on a limb and swing at Kentucky. I don't like Florida. I'm not a big Florida fan, and I'm interested to see how Kentucky's going to play with their quarterback loss, but I think that they can get it done. It's going to be tough though.
Is it in the swamp?
I believe it is in Florida.
Does add a little bit to.
It's
in
not.
Lexington.
It's in Lexington.
It's in
It's in
Lexington.
Well,
Lexington.
then, see, I
7
don't
o'clock
know.
game. And I'm with you, and you and I did talk a little bit earlier in the day about this game. And Terry Wilson, I think is his name, the injured quarterback for Kentucky. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure Wilson's the last name. But
Sounds right.
the backup situation I really don't know about, but this game's usually close. At least it has been for, I think, the last 3 seasons. In Lexington, and you and I, as we talked before, Kentucky beat Florida last
I'm
year
about to say.
in the swamp. This is going to be a heated ball game, and I think it's 7 o'clock. I'd venture to guess it's probably ESPN game. I think I'd tune my TV into this one. But
It'd be one to watch for sure.
One thing that I thought was interesting about this game was the over-under set at 50.5.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida's got a good defense, and I guess they're banking on Kentucky not being able to score and Florida not being able to score because Lord knows Felipe Franks is just god awful.
Terrible.
Felipe Franks is about as good as Tennessee's football team as a whole. God, they're bad.
Not
Yeah.
saying much.
Yeah, it's not saying much
Not saying
at
much,
all.
yeah.
But it's, again, like the first two, and I like the balls. I like the big kahunas
Some gonads.
on pick number 3.
Yep, I figured go big or go home on that one.
Yes, sir.
Paul, you ready yet?
I think I'm ready.
Give it to me, Paul.
All right, so my first one, I think I'm going Maryland at Temple.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
I think the line's way too low. I like Maryland big. Also, the live over under right now is 66.5, which I'm not gonna lie, I might take the over because Maryland are some scoring
Maryland is scoring points right
and
now.
Temple is also, they're known to do the same, at least in recent
Yeah.
years. So yeah, that's number
You're
one.
taking, what's the spread there?
7.5, I believe.
7.5. So you're taking Maryland laying 7.5.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be a lot more than
I
7.5.
like the pick.
Actually,
I like
it's
the pick.
7 even. 7 even.
7 even. All right. I like the pick.
I think
like
that's
the
way
pick.
too low. All right. Let's see. Next one. I'm going to Oklahoma State at Tulsa.
Whew.
All right. So the line right now, 13.5 in Oklahoma State's favor. And I don't know if y'all saw that, but like I think it's T. Boone Pickens or whatever. He just died today, and like that's their stadium's named after him. So I feel like
It's an
I
emotional
feel like
game.
they're gonna
You
be-
always bet with
they're go-
emotion.
they're going to be ready to
I like
score some
that.
points.
I was a little,
Look at Rook coming out.
yeah, coming out good with the emotional pick. That's a
They're going to
mush
score some
strategy.
Marty Mush.
A little Marty Mush strategy. I like the Six Guns though. They're always kind of a dark horse in that conference.
Yeah.
Them Cowboys every once in a while give some teams hell. And
Yeah, they could do it, I think.
laying 6.5 to Tulsa.
Yeah.
I think I gotta say that's probably gonna
Yeah.
hit.
Smart pick.
All right. And then obviously being the NC State fan I am, I'm gonna go ahead and go for my boys here. Same situation with the other two. I think the line's way too low.
6.5.
West
is
Virginia's
absurdly low.
Not good. And
Or is-
State hasn't given up a
That's
touchdown
bad.
yet this season. I mean, they've played a
Really?
couple of high school teams,
I
but
didn't know that.
yeah,
Know that either.
2 field goals at ECU and then shut out Western.
I mean,
Which I mean, there's some
Yeah.
cupcakes, but like
but the thing is, and
They're
it's,
looking
and
good on
a lot of
defense.
people. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on NC State, and
I
I
think
know
so.
I know they don't have a returner at quarterback, but they did, from what I remember, return a good amount of starters on both sides of the ball, and they got a good ball club.
yeah, we're
And they
young
had a
on
hell
offense,
of
but
a
experienced on
hell
defense, which
recruiting class.
Yeah, I mean for
Hell of a recruiting class.
NC
Uh-huh.
State, it was definitely a big deal. Us being all North Carolina boys, I mean, we're a little closer to home for us, so it was actually a pretty North Carolina heavy picks, I think, today.
yeah,
So
I'd say so.
we'll roll it over to the Raging Cajun going in the 3-hole.
I have some very questionable picks this week. I'm just gonna.
I hope you go 0
Back to
I'm
the
just gonna
SEC.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right now. We will know whether or not I went 0-3 by Saturday morning.
Oh, he's not going.
I got 3 Friday games.
Wow.
3 Friday
He's not even
games.
going to be
Good
able to
Lord.
pick any of his games, which means I already know Zach and I have the same pick.
All right, so we're gonna start it out with a little bit of a nice ease into my absurd picks of the week.
You're going to go with the easy one.
Washington State versus Houston.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Washington State ranked at 20. Very good ball club. Houston, very good underrated ball club.
That
In the
offense.
AAC,
See?
spread right now is 9 even. I think Houston loses by field goal. That's what I put it at. I think
I think-
Houston is a great team. I think they have a good defense. I think they have a good offense. I think they can give Washington State a run for money. I don't have full faith in them winning outright.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a great pick in my
But I
opinion.
think the cover
It's a
is.
field goal game.
I think the covers are not the cover, but the spread's at a good position
Yeah.
where I can bet against it.
Leach,
like
and
that.
Leach is one of those sneaky coaches
Mhm.
too.
That is
so
true.
I don't know too much about Leach's ball club this year. Former ECU transfer killed it there last year, but
True.
he is in the NFL now playing for the Jaguars.
Killing it
So-
there too.
Killing
Had a
it.
good game.
Killing it.
I know they lost. The Jags lost, which little NFL. We never talk NFL on here, but
Speaking of
pretty good
NFL,
game.
Saints game. Great
It's-
game.
That was
Great
fantastic.
Speaking of the NFL,
game.
Tennessee is probably the Miami Dolphins of college football.
Tank for Tua.
I mean, wow. What was it? 62-14.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
like
the
that.
over hit in the first half
Yeah.
with just Baltimore's points.
Yeah.
I think the over was at 40 and they scored 42 in the first half.
Over was hitting. But on to my second pick. A little bit more of a ballsy. You could even say that this is my emotional pick.
Yeah, this is your emotional.
Kansas at Boston
I don't
College.
even know this is coming.
Kansas. You know who coaches over at Kansas?
Yeah, let's
somebody.
Grass Eater Miles.
The Mad Hatter himself, Les Miles. I am putting all my money on Les Miles. Boston College favored by 21 points. Come on, Kansas. Let's
Wow.
show them that you can play more than just basketball.
BC is a good football team.
They're
BC's
scary in
really
ACC.
But you know what? You can have a good coach. You can do anything with a good
You know what? I'll
coach.
give you credit.
Mac Brown
You know,
doing a lot.
scared money
with
don't
a
do
good
much.
coach.
Scared
See, I
money
think
don't
you
do
need to
much.
put the I think you need to put the peyote down when you make your picks.
All right, pick number 3. You want to just go ahead and pick this one with me? North Carolina, Wake Forest.
I refuse to call, because I despise UNC
Oh,
with a passion.
Hey,
not
tell
even
me
shade,
about it.
and it's obvious.
Hey,
I'm a
tell
Georgia
me
guy.
about it.
Everyone knows who my team is.
go
But
Pack.
the fact that UNC can cheat like they can, previous to Mac Brown, and not get any,
And in Mac Brown's
any-
previous stint there too.
yeah, they don't get any repercussions for any of their cheating, and they still suck. Like they're still
Yeah.
bad at football. But now that they're the Fighting Mac Browns,
They are.
I am changing their name to the Fighting Mac Browns.
I like
Give
that.
me UNC +3.
UNC
Easy.
plus 3. They're no longer Tar Heels.
I'm
They're the
glad I
Mac
put that at
Browns.
the top of my thing.
They're the-
Actually, I have
The only
Uh,
problem I could see occurring with that is Wake is a tough place to play for ACC teams outside of Clemson.
Well, and
But
my
I like
only
Carolina.
reckoning, which actually I don't know why I wrote 2.5 because the live's at 3, and I literally looked at this 10 minutes ago. So UNC +3 for both of us, but neither here nor there. UNC, whatever, and we'll go to a pick that we've already had for my second pick. Give me NC State -6.5. I
Quality.
mean, West Virginia is a bad team. Noon kick. I know it's at West Virginia, and that's a tougher place to play. Here's the thing: Missouri lost to Wyoming. Missouri beat West Virginia last week 38-7.
Demolished.
38-7. I know Larry had a good game. Shout out Larry Roundtree.
That's my boy.
And I think Kelly Bryant had a good game. I mean,
he did.
but Missouri just still does not look like a good football team.
Well, West
No.
Virginia also.
And that's someone who was very high on. Like, I will eat my crow. I thought Missouri was going to be a great football
I thought they
team.
were contend for the East.
I thought they were the second best team.
Yeah,
I thought it was Georgia, huge step down, and then Missouri and Florida would
That's
fight
what I meant.
for
Outside
second.
of Georgia,
And
yeah.
it didn't hold up that way, but neither here nor there. Give me NC State laying 6.5. I think they win by 10 points, and if not more. Last pick got the shit show that's going on in Tallahassee, Florida State. Fire Willie Taggart. Please,
almost
God,
picked
that was a horrible hire. At the University of Virginia, who was my candidate to play against Clemson in the ACC title game,
I agree.
laying 7.5 to Florida State at home, 7:30 kick at night. I think this is when the ball gets rolling for Virginia. I think they're a good football team. They haven't played anybody yet. And the fact that it's 7.5 and you have Florida State that lost to whoever they lost to week 1, that was Boise State,
Yeah.
blew a lead,
Thank you, 2
a
points.
like 17-point lead to Boise State,
Yeah.
and should have lost against Monroe.
Monroe.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Louisiana
Monroe.
Monroe. came down to a field goal in overtime against Louisiana Monroe. You are Florida freaking state. You have some of the best facilities in the country. You're in one of the best recruiting states in the country, and you're putting this on the field? What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Can't handle the duck, man.
At least 2
Oh,
touchdowns.
they might hit the over or under by themselves.
I didn't even look what
They
it's
might-
at, but it did.
It's
when I
at
did-
58
yeah.
right now, and I think they can do it.
Virginia might drum them. It's at least a 2-score game, and I'd take that to the bank. But they're awful. Florida State's
Yeah.
just bad.
Terrible. Don't have a D-line, don't have an O-line.
Garbaggio.
Well, you know what that leads us to.
Uh-oh.
It is the secretsauces.com game of the flipping week
Yes, sir.
at 4 o'clock, probably on Fox.
Believe
Probably
so.
on Fox. We have number 18, Iowa, versus in-state rival. They've played against each other every year since 1977, I believe.
There's a stat.
And the Iowa State Cyclones would be that in-state rival. This game has been decided by, I think, 6 points or less 5 out of the last 8 years. A very competitive rivalry series between a dark horse Big 12 candidate and possibly the winner of is it the West and the Big 10?
Yeah.
Big 10 West. I think favorite to win that side.
I'd say so.
Should be a good game. Over under at 44.5 probably will be. This is usually a pretty low scoring game, and Iowa is favored by 2.5 points. Some of the big points for me, at least, with this game were the returners for the Cyclones. A lot of guys returning on both sides of the ball. I think they have 8 on both sides of the ball returning versus only 6 offensive starters returning for Iowa. One of them being now a third-year starter at quarterback, sensational player. Can't remember his name to save my life. And but they did lose 2 tight ends, which made up a large part of their offense. And everything I've been reading about Iowa State's defense, it's probably the best defense in the Big 12. I don't know.
Yeah, you could argue. I'd say so.
It's a toss-up game with a 2.5.
Yeah.
Any key factors for y'all in this ball game?
Well, I think one key factor for me is, and you just touched on it just a little bit at the end of that part, but defense. Iowa State, yes, they do have a great defense for the Big 12, but compared to everyone else, it's still not that good.
Last year they
but
only allowed like 23 points per game.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the stats, and I remember seeing that. But Iowa State actually, and that's a weird stat. Iowa State has actually been like the leader in defense for
Yeah.
Big 12 for like the past 5 or so
Which
years.
is crazy considering 2-3 years ago they went 3-8 in conference.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, and he's turned around back-to-back 8-win seasons, and it probably should have been more.
Mhm.
Probably.
I mean, this is a tough team to play against in a tough venue.
Mhm.
I mean, Cyclones at home, pretty competitive.
Is that the one next to the Children's Hospital? Or is that
No,
Iowa?
that's Iowa.
Okay,
That's Iowa.
okay.
Yeah.
Iowa's got the Children's Hospital. But
Very cool tradition.
I think that defense is going to win this game, and we'll have to see who wins it with defense. I think Iowa's got a good defense. I think Iowa State has a good defense. But at the end of the day, it's a rivalry game. It's an in-state rivalry
Yeah.
game. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. But I got to take Iowa.
Taking Iowa.
I think Iowa wins it.
All right, we got one for Iowa.
I'll second that.
You
I'm
going
taking
Iowa? Bennett?
I think it's a push, but I'm gonna change it up a little bit, and I'm going Iowa State.
Oh.
Ooh.
I've been tossing and turning over this, and as much as I keep looking at the youth of this Iowa team, and then still going back, and the one issue, because that immediately makes me think this defense might have their way, but that third-year starter at quarterback
Mhm.
is something to keep in mind. But neither here nor there.
No, experience is there.
I am calling for the upset as well. I think the
Yeah.
Cyclones defense takes care of business. A field goal game. I think this is close either way. A field goal doesn't do you much in this situation if it's the other way around and you bet Iowa State. But I'm just gonna go with Iowa State laying, plus 2.5, and we'll see. You got to get the ball rolling somehow to catch the big dog right here, number one. And
Well, you know, it's
You gotta make,
it's
you gotta make
it's
some
not
ballsy
easy being at the
picks,
top.
so.
I will say, speaking of a field goal game, Iowa State's last game, they did only beat Northern Iowa by 3.
And I know Northern Iowa's not as good as they used to be,
No.
but they're still a reckonable team. I just don't think it's clicked yet. And unfortunately, we're going to know real quick
Yeah.
if this game is going to click for Iowa State or not.
Yep.
But I think this is the game you're going to get. This is the game you got to win
Yeah.
if you're Iowa State. This
100%.
is for bragging rights. This is to represent your conference and to make your case that you are going to make a push with the Oklahoma States, the Oklahomas, and Texases of your conference. And they do have a favorable schedule this year, so I think this is a game they can really use in their favor. And if they, in fact, win, I think Iowa State's a team to look at for the rest of the year. Not a playoff contender, but what should be a good ball club.
A good ball club.
Yep.
This
sure.
this really is an interesting game of the week that we
Yeah.
have here. It's not a bigger school, and it's not two top 25 ranked opponents going head to head.
I mean, it's an 18
It
versus
is. It's an
unranked.
old school backyard rivalry. That's what it is, and it's gonna get brutal, and it's gonna be a slugfest. Or maybe Iowa State just kills them. You never know.
You never know. This
You
game
never
could
know.
go. This
Could
game
happen.
could go a lot of
never know.
ways. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for week 3 here of Pigskin Pick'em. Really enjoy all the new subscribers, new people watching. Leave a comment, hit that like button, hit the bell so you know when we're posting these things, even at 10 o'clock every Saturday. Come on, guys. But share it to a friend if you made it this far, man. We really having some fun with this, and the more people that watch, give me more reasons to keep this going. So
Thank you
we'll
guys.
see you guys in week 4. Take care.
See you.
See you.
All I gotta say is, if Paul ends up beating me in points, I'm quitting.